Okay. No, and I've been trying to manifest different ways to bring in money for my finances because I want to try to open up a Reiki and yoga studio. So I have plans with the money as soon as it comes in. I got bigger things that I want to do with it to give to the community. So this is just amazing confirmation that it's coming.
That is in keeping with the cards I got. Let me give you some earthly practical advice. If you're going to set up a Reiki and yoga studio, get insurance.
Yep.
Okay.
Insurance.
Well, I mean, a lot of people forget about that. But I knew somebody who started a yoga thing, and somebody fell off the table, and that was a nightmare because she didn't have insurance. And you should, you got to have insurance for this. It's just. That's a practical side. But you see, I can tell by this that you're very practical because I've got here the Six of Swords, ideas. Swords are thought, mental activity, and ideas. And the Six of Swords, which I had earlier also for somebody, is about getting from where you are to where you want to be. If you look at those cards in most decks, it shows a person piloting a little boat, moving that boat from rough waters to smooth waters. So the nature of the transition is positive. That you're going to go from where you are to where you want to be through your own efforts. And that's, that's pretty good. Now, you're going to do what you want to do, and you're going to do it well, but you're a very creative person, and you may come up with some ways to do things that other people might think is kind of sneaky, but it's not. It's just that you're a very clever person. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so don't let it, if people want to put you down for that, don't let them, because you know how to do what you want to do, and you know how to, you're not a bad person. I'm getting nothing bad here, but I'm getting cards that show that your mind is really active in a positive way, and you said you're manifesting. That's exactly it. You're the kind of person who uses her mind to get the things to show up. Now, a lot of people think that that's a bunch of new age baloney. However, I'll tell you this. I studied this in the 1970s, in the 70s, back before many people were born. And the one thing that highly successful people all had in common, I interviewed loads of people. The one thing they had in common was they saw themselves doing what they were doing before they were able to do it. They could picture themselves doing it. Now, that sounds simple because, if you don't see yourself doing it, you're not going to do it. but that's really the way it works. That's why it was so funny to me when The Secret came out, because The Secret was nothing more than that, which is to visualize it and know it. Well, I've got to run. I got like not even a minute to go, but your future is going to be really good. In fact, it's going to be life-changing for you. Okay, I have a card here that says you are entering a new phase of your whole life. So that's going to be great. Okay? Now, when you get the Reiki stuff going and the yoga stuff going, you can contact me at asktarot@earthlink.net or through Ask One Radio, and I will be glad to promote your business on my website, because I have a list of links for people. And I'll be happy to do that. I've got to run. I've got 10 seconds left. So bye-bye now.
Thank you so much. Bye.
My pleasure. Bye. That's it. We've hit the roadblock. Yeah, see, that's us hitting it. So I see you again next week. Remember, until next week, time flies. It's up to you to be the navigator. Bye-bye now.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome.
Time for Energy Reader Mariana with Mariana. Live from SoulCircle.vip.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Energy Reader Mariana
On A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Mariana. Just to remind you of that, I am in the Colorado Springs, Colorado area. And just to also, sorry, I'll quit shuffling my tarot deck. Just to also remind you, an energy reader is a psychic, an evidential medium, an evidential animal communicator, and a nonverbal communicator all rolled into one. I also do teach it. You can find out about my classes or more information about me at Soul, S-O-U-L, Circle, CIRCLE.VIP, like very important people or very important pets. It replaces .com, so it's .VIP, very important people. What else? I do have some classes coming up. I have animal communication classes coming up. It does start July 31st. That is a night of instruction and a night of circle. Those are in person, but on Zoom. And you get me every week, as well as Q&As every week, as well as circles every week. I am on TikTok under Mariana_energy_reader. I am on YouTube as Mariana Energy Reader or Energy Reader Mariana. You'll get there with pretty much any of it. And I'm on Instagram and Facebook. So while we wait for a caller, I just wanted to remind everyone that readings, whether those are psychic, animal, and or mediumship, are just one part of your larger due diligence. There are a lot of people out there that will tell you to trust your intuition and never give you the caveats, never give you the buts, because we have intuition plus life experience. And some of us have some trauma from past experiences that can interfere with our own personal intuition. A lot of times when we're doing this work, it doesn't interfere with the people we read for, but it can interfere with ours because of fear, because of past traumas, because of a lot of different things. So I just want to remind everyone out there that a reading is just part of a larger due diligence when you're making decisions. And even readers can't always trust their intuition. Otherwise, I would have won the lottery and you might not be talking to me right now. So I just wanted to remind everybody of that. Intuition is really about experience, questions, verification, and your other due diligence. The T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. Also, just because a reader told you something, I remember a story from one reader who was a teacher one time who said he went out and sold his house based on something a psychic told him. And not 2 weeks later, after he signed the paperwork, the house property value in his neighborhood went up by about a few $100,000. So just because you hear it from a psychic doesn't always necessarily mean that that energy is for that particular moment. You have to do your other due diligence. Do we have a caller yet? All right, I don't think we do. So we can go on and we're going to talk about how animals see reincarnation and death. One of the things is that I am an animal communicator. I also do teach it. I am very passionate about the animal communication, which at its lowest level is telepathy. Animals don't necessarily see death the same way we do. We grieve deeply, and they do grieve as well, especially when they lose their animal companions, but they don't do it in quite the same way. They do tend to see it more of a transition from one energy form to another. Our animals tend to stay with us in energy form after passing. I do a lot of readings where I'm like, I feel like this energy is still with you, and I will give information that they then validate, especially if they still have animals at home that still interact with the passed over animals. Do animals reincarnate? They do. They do. And I think it's an exciting thing. And I'm starting to wonder. Oh, we do have a caller. Crystal, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. What can we do for you today?
I was just hoping for a reading to see if my fiance comes through.
Okay. So if he comes through as in actually getting married?
No, he passed away on June 13th.
Okay. All right. Don't give me any more. So this is Crystal, and you want to talk to your fiance. All right, Crystal. I'll give you a little bit of information. And if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. I can always be wrong. I just want to caveat that to everyone. If I'm wrong, it's okay.
Okay.
I do get a handsome man with dark hair, and I kind of get a little bit of somewhat of olive skin, or he would have tanned very easily. Would you understand this description?
Yeah.
Okay. I also get, I want to say I'm maybe under 6 feet tall, but with my shoes, I always appear a little bit taller, and I kind of make sure I wear those shoes specifically, especially date night. Would you understand this?
Well, yeah, he was under 6 feet.
Under 6 feet. So he's about 6 feet with the shoes, and he kind of enjoyed being a little bit taller. I do get a kind person, but I also get someone with a little bit of little bit quick to irritation, a little bit quick to almost anger. Would you understand that about his personality?
Yeah.
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 Because he does come through with a few apologies, actually. He wants you to understand that his upbringing, I feel, was very different from yours, and you didn't always necessarily understand some of his personality traits. Would you understand that?
Yes.
So his apologies are a little bit about his love languages, because he said he wasn't able always to give you the same type of love language that you deal in. He wasn't always able to express himself, but the love was very genuine and very deep. And he does want me to express that to you right now, that even though sometimes maybe you questioned it because of his personality, he wants to assure you that this was a real serious, loving connection. And I feel like you're not even in, like, he's making it like it's very important to tell you that, but I feel like you know that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do know that.
Yes. He also misses you deeply. And I know it's very hard because they can visit us anytime they want to, but without being here in that human form, it's very difficult on us. And it's very difficult on him to watch you going through this. His mother is still alive. Would you understand that?
No, she's gone.
She is passed. And maybe it is possibly your mother then. He's bringing a mother in and saying that is kind of is that your mother?
My mother's still alive.
Yeah.
My great-grandmother has passed.
Okay. Well, it's more of a support thing. I think he's just saying, and sorry, I look away when I do this, so I'm not distracted. But he's just kind of bringing it in as a support system and saying that you aren't necessarily reaching out to people enough, and that he would love for you to get a little more involved and get outside more. He's actually kind of, are you being an introvert at the moment due to the situation?
Yeah, I haven't left the house.
Oh, okay. All right. And so he's just kind of saying, life is for the living. He loves you deeply. He apologizes for some of his gruff behavior. He for some reason he's harping on the fact that how much he deeply, deeply loved you and how much you deserve to be loved. And he wants you to keep going on. And he also does mention your support system, flowers, and I want to say there's a child, but I'm not sure if it's actually a child that is it might be a niece or a nephew, but just to bring these things back into your life to make you smile. He wants to make you smile. He says your smile is radiating.
Oh, okay.
All right, Crystal, we only have 60 seconds left, but thank you for sharing your fiance with me. I hope that they give you a little peace and a little bit of healing.
Oh,
I'm
I
so
just wish I
sorry.
had more answers, that's all.
Absolutely. He wishes that too. Did you say, do you wish you had more time, correct?
I wish I had more answers and more
Oh,
time.
answers.
Of course, more time.
Okay. Our connection isn't wonderful, but you can always feel free to email me as well. Also, you could also
Okay.
always follow up with me on my website, which is soulcircle.vip. And
Okay.
complimentary, I would answer a few more questions for you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing your life with me tonight.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. All right, everyone. Thank you for being here. And that was a very small, quick example of a mediumship reading with evidence. If you aren't getting evidence, it technically isn't a mediumship reading, in my opinion. So you have to be careful of what you're getting and what you're listening to and what you're believing.
Listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome.
Time for Medicine for Your Spirit with Raylene Byrne. Raylene Byrne. Live from RayleneByrne.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Medicine for Your Spirit
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Namaste, everyone. Welcome to Raylene Byrne Medicine for Your Spirit. Before I came in today, I thought I'll pull a card and just see what a general theme is that we can ponder, reflect on, contemplate, and ask ourselves what it means to us. And so the card that's come through today is this one. Here we go. Medicine power. Look at that. Look how powerful that is. So this is a message for anyone who's listening. What's the medicine power means? It means what I've been saying for a long time, that we are our own medicine. We are our own medicine. And as we're in this next half of 2023, we're really being called to connect deeper and deeper into ourselves. That's what this whole year has been about. But we're getting to this point now where it's really getting a little bit more of an urgency for us to go there. Spirituality is a really big energy to incorporate in your life, to engage in, to open up to be aware of. But there's also deeper medicine within ourselves. There's a lot of change going on. And I know at the moment there seems to be a lot of volatility around, a lot of aggression in the energy in the world. There's a lot of intensity that's happening for all of us. And we have to keep drawing on this. We have to go to our own medicine. We have to start going within more and more and more. What does this mean? I need to give my energy towards something that I can't possibly change? Are there things that are really not for me to pay attention to? Are there things that I need to be incorporating in my daily life that will allow me to be calmer and steadier and more grounded and more open-hearted? These are the types of things we need to be asking ourselves for the next few weeks. And at the end of this month, July 25th, we have this amazing day. It's my favourite time of the year. It's in the Mayan calendar, it's known as the Day Out of Time. Now, the Mayan calendar was put together by a very advanced civilization, and they worked on the 13 moon cycles in a year, which is 28-day cycles, so 13 of them through the year. And there's one day that doesn't fit, and that's July 25th. So on that day, the Mayan culture would look at it as if it was a day of gratitude for achievements that we've lived through, gratitude for the year before, and then preparing for the year ahead. It's a day where it's the end of the Earth's galactic cycle, and we're preparing for the beginning of the new galactic cycle, which starts on the 26th of July. So if anyone's interested in knowing more, let me know, because I have some beautiful processes, and for July 25th, I have a fantastic ritual that sets you up for the next 12 months. It's really, really good. It's a very creative ritual. So I have a caller, Palisa from Washington.
Yes. Yes, I'm here.
How can I help, assist, guide, support? In short, let me know.
Yes, thank you very much. I am currently looking for a job, and I have been for a while. So that's my main thing. And I'm also looking to relocate, if possible, to be in New Jersey and closer to my partner. So my questions just are around, am I close to this job? I am feeling it, that I'm close. I'm getting more response. Yeah. And I really want to have a job now in July, be hired in July.
So I just want to recap what you're saying, because it's a little bit muffly here. You're saying that you're looking for work, but you also want to move. Is that correct?
Yes. Uh-huh. Okay. In that order. So I'm looking for work. I'd like to know if I'm going to be hired in July. And I work from home, so it's remote work. And I'm looking to move, and is that the right thing to do?
Okay, so it doesn't matter. If you move, you can still work from home.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically your question is, it's not about the moving, it's about work.
Yes.
Okay, so you work from home. So are you waiting to hear from a job or something, are you?
Yes, I'm waiting to hear from one or two prospects. I have recruiters coming in. I've got a call tomorrow as well. Screener. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I just feel there's this, for us at the moment, I'm just going to pull a card while I'm talking to you. At the moment, it's really about being very discerning and very clear about what you want. Now, I'm not sure of the situation you're in where you are. There's a lot of trust. I'm getting trust. You got to trust. A lot of trust coming up here. So when we're wanting a job, when we're wanting something in our life, and we're calling it forward, we have to engage in a lot of clarity within ourselves around the motivation, the intention behind it. If it's, I just need a job to pay the bills, then you'll probably not get the job that you really want. You'll get a job that will pay the bills, but you won't have the challenge or the happiness or the achievement that you would like. When you are very clear around, I want a job that will fill me, that will give me a financial flow, that will allow me to grow my skills, that will put me in a place where I can leap forward into another level of my service or job or role or whatever it is. When we start to talk like that, what we're doing is we're opening up a bigger field of possibilities. We're opening up more opportunities for ourselves. So I'm going to say, as I've said all along when I do these shows, I don't do prophetic stuff. I don't like doing that. And the reason being is because we have to make the choices for ourselves. It's an empowerment process. We've got to trust ourselves. That's what came up for you. Trust yourself. So my suggestion would be this. I like doing little rituals for things that I want to call in. So I like to get a candle, just a little candle, and I write on a piece of paper what I'm calling in, what I'm attracting, what I want to engage in, what I want to step towards. And I write it out. And I start with the words, I lovingly, gratefully, and graciously allow, align, attune, and call this to me. And then I write out what it is, and I fold it up, and I put it under that candle between the plate or the bowl and the candle. And every day I light that candle. And every time you light that candle, what you're doing, your intention, your focus is on that beautiful intention and that desire and that dream, and you are bringing it to light. Now, what that means is you potentize your energy around what it is you want. I would try that. The other thing I want to say is in our old world that's falling apart and crumbling, and we can see it, nothing's working very well at the moment, we were often engaged in taking jobs or roles because, it gave us security. We need that security for our bills or whatever it is. As we're stepping more into this new energy that's coming in and it's starting to bubble up through us, what it's asking us to do is to look at how we want to feel doing what we want to do and what's beyond that. So we've got to start looking at how do you want to feel in these jobs that you've applied for? How do you want to feel in them? Do you want to feel like it's taking you somewhere? Do you want to feel like it's expansive, it's fulfilling, it's joyful? Because when we start to look at that way of feeling what we're doing, we invite more opportunities towards ourselves because our energy becomes clear. So it's like, I often give this example. It's like if you walk into a pitch black room with a torch. You turn it on and you shine that light across the room. All you see in that room is the torch in your hand, the ray of light, and where the light lands on the wall. It's a very narrow focus point. You can't see anything else in that room. That's how we think. It's focused intention. That's how we manifest focused intention. But if you go into that same pitch black room and you light a candle, you get more light in that room, and it's a bigger radius. It's a bigger bubble. Light. You can see more things. That flame in that room represents a feeling. So when we start to work on how we feel about things or how we want to feel, our energy becomes this language with consciousness. And if we've got that feeling of, I want to feel really fulfilled or successful in this role that I'm applying for, what would that feel like every day? And you start to cultivate those feelings, what you're doing is you're inviting more of that success or fulfillment or achievement towards you. You're calling in more opportunities because our feelings are a point of attraction. That's where we create from. So this new world that we're moving towards is not about I'm focusing on that and I've got to get it, because it's hard work. We have to know how we want to feel doing what we love, or doing, the next stage. I really want this job, but I want to feel this, and this. Okay, let me work on those feelings, because there could be another role or a job there that's going to give me that I'm not seeing right now. Do you understand all that? I know that was big.
I do. I really needed to share this. I just wanted to go back to this sentence that I write with the ritual and the candle. I lovingly, gratefully, and graciously.
Graciously and gratefully.
Mm-hmm.
Align, attune, invite, and call to me. and then write out what it is. It's a little bit of witchy
fantastic.
poo magic. It's a bit of witchy poo magic, but it's really beautiful. And look, trust that your soul knows where it's going. Just trust that and drop into that. Okay?
Yes. Oh,
I
yes.
hope that
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You are the creator of your life. You are the medicine for your own spirit. That's what I do. I give people lots of little things to do to activate that within themselves to have the life that you want. So lovely speaking with you. Good luck. And I will maybe talk with you another time.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. That's it from me, Raylene Byrne, Medicine for Your Spirit. Have a wonderful next few days, everyone. And if you like what I do, contact me on my website, rayleneburn.com.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Evenings with Kimberly, the comedian media. Live from KimberlyWagonMakers.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Evenings with Kimberly
On A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, this is Kimberly Wagonmakers. First time on this show. A little bit nervous. I like being in my comfort zone and not the world seeing me, but oh well, I got to come out of my comfort zone. So here I am. I'd like to introduce myself. I'd like to slowly let everybody get to know me and how I got to this position. Being a weirdo, being different, being in the woohoo realm. And I have no problem taking callers as well, even though having seconds only to tap into them could be challenging, but hey, you just got to go with it. So yes, this is my first time on AR1 radio. I'm excited. I'm going to get stronger with courage every week. And I am, to give you a little short synopsis, I have been different my whole life. Growing up, I was always called weird, but in a cute way. They all loved me, but they all laughed at me and called me weird. I always was just different. I remember at 4 years old looking at my hand and looking at the lines in my fingers and wondering, what are you? Where are you from? And as I grew up, so many different things to share. I didn't have the easiest childhood. I had probably one of the roughest in the universe. But stepping into my gift over the last 4 years, I've learned that I believe now I understand why I suffered so much, because it made me I have so much empathy for everyone and their situation, because I've been through just about everything, from being raped, being locked in a room as a child, refrigerators locked, got a lot of stories, witnessing murder, having Hollywood chase you around as a child when you don't want to be chased. You don't want everyone to know you're the weirdo. But I've grown up, and I have finally let the world know about me, because I didn't, a lot of religions had me suppress my gift, and to be accepted and loved, I did that until my own loss in 2019. That's where I came out, and nothing could stop me. I had to do this. And each and every time I represent a client and I know nothing about them, I walk out of my session amazed, truly grateful. And there's no better feeling than helping that person that was suffering so bad. And I can relate to that. Oops. Emotionals. Yeah, some of us gifted ones are really sensitive, and it sucks. It's one of the faux pas of it. But I like to call myself, I was certified because I just ended up in a group and it just kept growing and I didn't know what the heck I was doing there. But it was where Spirit wanted me to finally open up, accept, deliver, surrender. And I got certified as a certified psychic medium. Medium I love the most because it's the most evidential. Can't bullshit. It's not cards saying a story, although I use oracle cards and I love them, but not too often. They're more just of a ending of a, let me see something, or I'll use my pendulum. But I would say my title is more of a shaman. A shaman, the word comes from Saman, which comes from the Tungus tribe of Siberia. And it's one who sees in the dark, communicates with the three worlds, and heals. Sorry, I'm looking over. I'm running out of time. I've got to. Oops. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm multitasking. I'm new at this again, and I have a chat bar and don't know how to look, read, and talk. But yes. Hi, Alma. I think I have somebody.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Babe. Is your name Alma?
Yes.
Hi. How are you tonight?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good. This is an exciting thing for me. I don't know where you're at, what part of the world you're at. For
I'm
me,
in Washington, PA.
Go ahead.
Washington, PA.
Ah, Pennsylvania. So it's probably dark there?
It's not dark yet.
Oh, I guess I don't know my, what is that, geography?
Well, it usually is, but right now with the new time changing, it gets dark about 9, a little after 9:20.
Wow, you guys really get it dark late.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes.
More sunshine. More sunshine. So, hi, Alma. What brings you here tonight? How can I help you?
And maybe is any of my loved ones around?
So, first off, do I have your permission to connect with the other side, Alma?
Yes.
Okay. And so I am sensing a female. I am sensing a female right away. And this is a strong connection. This is either a sister or a sisterly bond. Does that help you in any way?
I'm not sure. Maybe my cousin.
Were you very close with her, like almost like sisters? Is it a very close bond?
I mean, kind of.
Okay, so my nose, when it knows, it knows.
Yeah.
So, sorry, that's my spirit's going through. 38. I'm hearing 38. Would that resonate with something?
She wasn't 38. She might be 38 now. I mean, she could be 38 now.
Well, I'm hearing the number 38, and so I'm not sure what that resonates with. It doesn't have to be her passing. It could be a celebration. It could be your age. It's going to be something that you will understand.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet.
Okay, let me try to dig in. I know we have very little time.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a little nervous, but I'm just feeling this is definitely it's somebody strong close to you. I'm feeling it was a tragic passing. Okay, so I heard a car, but then I was also hearing cancer.
My cousin and my grandma might be there together. My grandma died of cancer and my cousin died from a car accident.
Okay, so I do get multiple, when I do readings, I get what they call platform, which means multiple spirits come through. And so I was hearing cancer and a car accident, and I was feeling like the car accident was your cousin, but I was like, why am I hearing cancer? So I'm getting goosebumps now. So I do believe they are holding hands together in spirit. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of goosebumps. Let me see if I can. I've got like so many seconds left, but I want to try to get you a message. I just heard the color purple. Does that resonate with anything?
My favorite color.
Okay, because I'm like trying to shoot out stuff for me, and they told me to tell you purple. So
it's my favorite color.
Well, sweetheart, with such little time, I would love to continue this, but I will tell you that they're together, and the passing with your cousin in the car accident, she didn't suffer.
listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Susanna Medium with Susanna Hershaw. Live from SusannaMedium.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Susanna Medium
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
So my wonderful friends, listeners, and viewers, thanks very much for tuning in and being here with me on the Ask One Radio Network, A1R Psychic Radio, and Moonstruck TV. It's good to be back. And as I'm talking to you, starting my show, Susanna Medium, with your host, with myself, Susanna Medium, I am thinking of a country song with some banjo sounds and banjo playing. So my lovely friends, wherever you are listening and watching this show, anywhere in the world, whether it is live or replay or in 2 years' time or 5 years' time or, I don't know how many more years' time, if you remember, if you know, or if you still remember any folk music, any folky type music and playing the banjo, then make sure that you post under this particular show, because as I'm starting my show, once again, no idea. I can't think of any song with a banjo. So here we go. I was thinking of all different songs and getting ready for my show, but here we go. I'm always caught by surprise here. So here we go. So this is a psychic and mediumistic and spiritual show where we enjoy talking and love talking about anything spiritual, uplifting and soul empowering and encouraging and inspiring things and conversations. All of us, we are all very, very, I feel gifted. I wanted to say very inspiring, gifted, and very much dedicated to bringing you something very interesting, insightful conversation, and sometimes music, and sometimes dance, and some kind of other things as well. But then you see, you can never be prepared, and this is what happens when you are working with the energy. Oh my goodness, Mr. Day Prince, it always comes together, my show at the beginning. Well, it always comes together. That you can never prepare for anything. You know, let's take life, that we can never prepare enough for what is coming to us into our lives. So I'm not talking about the current life 2023, but then isn't that just true that we cannot really prepare? We can have plans. We can have plan A, B, C, K, Z, all the different plans, but we can never really be prepared. And then in that sense, we can never really anticipate what is coming forward and what we are going to experience and what our life is going to be about. Now it's quite interesting because, you know, we can be all different types of people, and it's natural. We need to be alive. We need to be different. We need to embrace our own energies. And some of us are very organized. Some of us have plan A, B, C, K, Q, and so on for all the occasions, especially if you have bigger families, especially if you have bigger or more, not more important jobs, but then things when you really have to be organized, or maybe you've got a desk and you have plenty of buttons to press. You need to know what you are doing, and certain anticipation is always there. But then you see very often, and then see the other type of group like myself, we like being very eclectic. We can have A, B, C plan. We can be very organized. And then the time when we need to be organized, all the plans go out of the window, and we need to be spontaneous, and we need to be brave. We need to be playful, need to be very much in the present moment. So you see, we all come in different sizes and shapes and energies. But then what really brings us together, that our life is flowing, and we are here with this flowing and wonderful, wonderful energy, which is the life force we all share. And then just consider, you can always ask, where is that conversation coming, where you feel that you need to be very structured, where you need to know the plan, where you need to know every single step ahead, or even in the very moment, you need to know everything. You need to be organized. You need to be in control of things. Because if you are not in that way, then the world is going to fall apart, and then you might experience being a victim of your own situation, or you might blame other people, or blame all the guides and all the spirits, and you can blame anything and anybody until we get that actually we cannot do that. We need to bring the energy back to ourselves. And while I'm saying this, because I used to feel that way, that very much stuck and blaming that colleague dealing or blaming that conversation or that situation or family member. We can have all different conversations, neighbors, all different things. But then the learning here for us while we are here in our current reality is to bring that awareness forward, that we cannot go down that path. We cannot blame others. We cannot have, even in that way, the anticipation. We can have plans, but we need to have the flexibility to adapt and to adjust our steps, our actions, our way of thinking, because this is what we need to do. Otherwise, our ego comes in and we are very much stuck in the moment. And even when opportunities arise, we might not be able to see those opportunities. So you see, I feel really the conversation is about have that flexibility. Interestingly, I wanted to talk to you about intention. So intention, I'm here in time and I'm thinking of a plan. I'm thinking my plan over there, completing my plan over there somewhere in the future. So I need to get from point A to point B, and I need to set my intention. An intention, putting all the energy behind that. I need to have my plan so I am able to complete whatever I want to complete my action. But then it's absolutely fine, because we need to have that, but we need to have that flexibility and really being with the energy. And then you see, going with the energy. And then in that sense, if you think that, I'm setting my intention here, and I'm very rigidly trying to control the situation and want to stick with my original plan, we are missing many, many very present moments. The present moments, how they come one after each other. And then you see, in that sense, if you feel that you have embraced that flexibility and the sense of humor and going with the energy, going with the flow and being playful and not really anticipating anything, but accepting and being grateful for what you are experiencing in every single moment, that then in that sense, you can set your intention in every single moment. So if something is not working out, okay, I'm setting my intention, or I'm realigning my energy, or I'm thinking of something, I'm readjusting myself, I'm being flexible, I'm taking a breath, I'm looking around, or maybe stepping back and taking everything in and taking my next action from that space. And in that sense, even if you feel that something is not working out or has not worked out, and you feel very stuck and you feel like being a victim of your current situation, the invitation is really take a step back, take a breath. Maybe you might need to take a day or two just out, nothing or off, not even thinking about your own question. You see, the other day I had a reading with somebody, and then actually quite often it comes up that we really try to make something work, changing a job, changing a situation, moving, or relationship conversations, and we are very rigid and we are constipated with the whole energy. And then very often just taking a day or two out for ourselves, then it brings a different energy. We are able to breathe. We engage with something else. We are talking to other people. We are putting everything to the side. And then when we are coming back to the original conversation a couple of days later, I wanted to say a couple of weeks later, that might be the case as well, that then we are able to see the situation with a fresh eyes, washed face and a clean head and all refreshed energy. And interesting, because my original conversation was about intention, talking about intention. And I started my show here really desperately trying to think in about 5 seconds to think about something banjo. Is still no idea what I'm trying to think of a banjo song, or actually I'm just thinking I should have something, a resource in front of me. So when I get something, I can really quickly just download something and be able to play the banjo, although it might hurt my fingers, So here we go. But then going back to the conversation. So you see, just like how I had the invitation to sing, name a song, it really, I'm not saying put me out of my original track, but then it's always wonderful how in the very moment, we are not stopping. I'm not stopping the show. I'm not sitting here and not talking, especially if you are watching or listening on the radio, and then you will wonder what is the long pause. When you are doing radio, you need to continuously talk and use your voice and being very animated with your presence. So it's not the way, if you feel that in your current life situation, you feel very overwhelmed, and in a way how you are dealing with the situation is freezing and not doing anything, not saying anything, not even waving, not even saying anything, or not even showing anything, then you just acknowledge that energy, because once you acknowledge that is the way how I am dealing with the situation, then you are able to change, you are able to move, and then you are able to learn something which is going to help you to move forward. Now, it's quite interesting because I'm still thinking of a banjo song. Can everyone? There is nobody in this room as I'm talking to you, because I would not have anybody here. But I wanted to have some kind of banjo. Come on then. Oh my goodness me! When you know that you've got 1 minute left at the end of your show, and then you are really desperately trying to think of something. It's like, you see, even with the energy, with the higher dimensional energy, we cannot really know what piece of information we are going to get. I cannot really know how life goes on, and you've got the same situation. You've got the same situation. So whether we are living in the present moment or living with the higher dimensional beings and energies, then you just go with the flow, have a playful and joyful energy, and by all means, put the music on John Ben Denver. Thank God I'm a country boy. So there we go. You see, I am saved, and we are saved. That you see, I'm going to put that music on. And I know last time I was playing the air drums for about 4 days after that song. I already forgot that title, but doesn't matter, because now I'm going to do this one as well. And if you are playing a banjo, play along. By all means, play along. Life is about playing along, going with the flow. Okay. So my lovely friends, 30 seconds here. I was your show host, Susanna Medium, from www.susannamedium.com. Always 9 letters. You know this very well. You can find it everywhere. And come back in 7 days' time. And Mr. D producer, the team behind the scene, even our Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV, thanks very much. This was my show 97, and see you back in 7 days' time. So play your banjo and take the music away, my lovely friend. Thank God I'm a country boy, country girl. Yes, so here we go. Bye for now.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Soul Tea with Marie, with Antoinette Marie. Antoinette Marie. Live from AntoinetteMarie.net.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is Soul Tea with Marie
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, lovelies. Welcome to my show, Soul Tea with Marie. So I was going to have a guest this evening, and she was not able to make it. It's Michelle. She was on last week, and she talked about twin flames. I just found out that she wasn't going to make it. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. And I kind of knew that's where we were going today. I kept hearing a certain name pop up, and that I was going to do some channeling. And maybe tell a little bit about my story as well, how I got into being a medium and how I got to be here, and then the channeling. So first I want to say that I will be channeling, today's July 20th, and this is the birthday of Chris Cornell. It is also the day that Chester Bennington took his life, or his life was taken, depending on what it is that you believe or what you feel. So I will be channeling both of them. They are definitely here. Chris told me all day that I was going to channel him. And I said, I guess I'm going to do it for YouTube, because I do channeling on YouTube. And he just happened to be the one and only person. Well, he and Chester, believe it or not, were the only two people that I channeled before on YouTube, but I have channeled others. Lane Stanley comes with Chris. Chris kind of comes with a plethora of people. When he came to me with grunge and all of those boys. So we'll see who pops through. And I'm already getting the scratchy throat, which is in reference to Chris, because when he, okay, so they're just ready to talk. They're just ready to talk. Chris is just ready to talk already. And so this is a 30-minute show. I'm going to close my eyes, and this may just go right into the time, and I may not see it. So I apologize for anybody that's watching. But when they start sending me information, I just kind of roll with it. And I do want to say quickly that Kurt Cobain is also here to say hello and to watch the festivities of his brother. What he calls Chris is his brother. And Chester, he says little brother, but not quite. But he does honor Chris as his brother, and he says brother in arms. Okay, so, okay. So Kurt's going to stick around just for a little bit more. Okay, so Kurt is here also to honor Chris for what he brought to music. He's saying that he laid out the land for everyone. He started it all. He paved the path. And Kurt is saying he is grateful for that. Kurt is also very playful, and he's like, oh, yeah, I had talent. He's like, I would have made it anyway, but he's saying Chris really he's using an 80s comment, which is took the bull by the horns. Do you remember that when we used to say that in the 80s? He took the bull by the horns and he plowed through. And by the time Kurt was on the scene, Chris had already been around for quite a while. I don't know a lot about grunge. When I first became a medium, or when I realized I became a medium, one of the first people that came to me, this is years ago, was Kurt. But I never discussed with him his music or grunge. And it wasn't until years later, until Chris Cornell came to me a few years ago, and he stayed for about a weekend. And then he left, and he came back again a couple months ago, and he's been here full force. So I know a little bit about music, but I don't know a lot. Anyway, Kurt is saying, quiet, I'm here. Kurt is very abrupt and direct, where, and Chris is saying where Chris is saying I could be direct, but I was a little more playful, sarcastic when I was direct. I added a little charisma to it, a little sex appeal, which I know Chris is saying I wasn't really known for that. I shied away from that. But I also used it, and I knew how to use it. I used it with restraint because I was always married. And he is saying, so we're going to move back into Chris. And he is saying that I loved both of my wives, contrary to everything that has gone on, but I loved them both. Susan was my first love, and she helped pave the way for what I became. And I have regrets on how I became later in life with her. We had an explosive falling out that the world saw. I don't mean the world as in the whole world. I mean Seattle. Seattle saw our fights in plain view. It was, he's saying it was written in the stars what happened to us. And I think he is, okay, sorry, not think. He's showing me, he means that in two ways. He means that she was a soulmate. He's correcting me. She is a soulmate. And that was what was to happen to them. Unfortunately, he said that he's very specific, and he's always been specific when it came, and he's saying with my music, with my writing, with how I played guitar, drums, everything. And he's saying I played many musical instruments, Antoinette. He's very particular. Piano, he's like, especially the piano, it has to be done a certain way. And also when you're channeling, make sure you get the right words. So he's saying that they could have stayed together, but he chose to go a destructive path. That they had multiple pathways that they could have gone, and he decided to go the destructive pathway. And that was through drugs, alcohol, but also into his next marriage. Now, he's very particular about this because he knows there's a lot of controversy with his marriage. And he's saying, I loved Vicky very much. She was also a soulmate. The things that happened and occurred between us. He is saying, I'm not here to discuss my death. I'm not here to discuss what happened that night. This is not the place for that. What I do want to discuss is pathways and how we can choose. He's like, how we can choose where we want our life to go. We always have choices, even though we come here with certain expectations of what we want. He's saying, I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be a guitarist, a rock and roll guitarist. And that's what I did. My soul wanted to be big. Even though my human self didn't always want that, but it kind of did. Towards the end, I wasn't playing large concerts, but I loved those large concerts, especially with Audio Slave. Audio Slave got bigger and bigger and bigger. He's like, I know everybody loves Soundgarden. We played some great, fantastic concerts, but there was just something about Audio Slave. When we played, the energy was different. It pulsated differently. And honestly, I couldn't handle it. My anxiety couldn't handle Audio Slave. And also what was happening behind the scenes in my own personal life. I had just gotten married. I had children. And he's very quick to say, also not discussing children. There are people watching and curious. This is not the place for that question. And the people that are curious know what that question is. It's off limits. While I say that he wants me to point out at this moment, because we're talking about children, although he says this also goes with Susan for some reason. So I bought this dandelion. I probably can't see it. Oh, there we go. Maybe you can. So it's a dandelion necklace. And okay, he's mentioning there's a song about dandelions. I don't think I've heard the song. And he's telling me he's all over the place. So I'm just going with whatever he says, and we're just going to go with it. He's saying that he used dandelion multiple times, sometimes in reference to his children, but also in reference to Susan the dandelion, Susan the moon. And there is something with their 2 birthdays in the moon that he is referring to. And so he's going back to the soulmates, which is why he's here. He wants to talk about soulmates. Okay, because the twin flame, because we were supposed to have a twin flame. We were supposed to have a twin flame reading tonight. So he wants to talk a little bit about soulmates and how you can be on a path with someone like he was with Susan, who he again is saying, I loved very much. He said, contrary to, I'm just going to swear, I hope it's okay. It's his word. Bullshit. He's like, contrary to all the bullshit I said as we were nearing the end, I did love her. She was my soul. She was, when I spoke about my veins, she was the veins of me. She is what created me. Show me how to live. He's saying she was my creator. But I fell short of what she wanted and needed. But she also fell short of what I wanted and needed. We were young and we grew up together and we grew apart, and I was a child in many ways and very immature and didn't handle it properly. For that, I give her. And so he's showing me that's the end. And then he moves on to Vicky. And he says that he shows me Vicky and the children. He's being very cautious about this, very cautious about talking about her because all the controversy, and that he wants people to know that no matter what transpired between the 2 of them, he chose that pathway to learn lessons. That was ultimately what he wanted to do. And for whatever reason, she soothed his anxiety when he was on stage. There was something about her that felt like home to him. And yet he's saying it also wrecked him. That he thought he was becoming who he was or who he should be, but in the end, it wasn't. He realized when he went back to Soundgarden that all the running he did was for naught. He actually was that little boy that got on stage when he's saying 19. When I was 19 and I got on stage with Susan, I guess you knew Susan at 19. And Susan was Susan. I still was that person when I got back with Soundgarden. I realized it. And as I was playing, who I was started to come back to me again. I had forgotten and forgotten and forgotten. And because of that, caused a lot of restraint in my marriage. And it became very unhealthy But again, he's saying, I chose it, and I chose to stay in an unhealthy circumstance. It's almost as though this was my karmic need for what I had done in my first marriage. And now I was paying for it in my second marriage. And he's saying, I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because people love me and they put me on a pedestal and they look at me as being perfect, and that these women chastise me. I'm not saying they were healthy for me or that they were good for me or that I chose well, but they didn't choose well either. I could never be the man that they wanted me to be because I couldn't be the man that I wanted to be. I was so busy performing and trying to be everything to everyone, including my family, my children, that I forgot. No, not forgot. I lost myself every day. I lost myself, and I changed myself, and I changed myself, and I changed myself so many times that after a while, when I looked in the mirror, I didn't know who I was. But towards the end, I realized I hadn't known who I was until towards the end. And I started to recognize, wait a second. And I started to wake up, really started to wake up in those last 2 years of who I actually was, what I represented, what I wanted to sing. I mean, I always sang everything that I wanted to. I always crossed those boundaries, and the lyrics that you heard or what I wanted to say. But the person that was singing them, there was always this facade that I put out because I was so afraid of my own skin, my own self. And he mentions drugs when he was younger, something about drugs. He did too many drugs and it affected him. It clouded his mind, or it altered him. Something about doing drugs altered him in his younger life that caused all of this as he went through the years. Okay, he wants to take a back seat now. So what happens when spirit comes down, and he's explaining it to me, and he wants to explain it, wants me to explain it, which is when spirit comes down, they start to feel what they felt then, even though he's fully healed and he's doing magnificent work on the other side. They feel those feelings, and I can feel the sorrow and the loss of not knowing who he was. And he's saying it, he's just taking a moment, because we are talking about heavy things. For him, it's very heavy. So we're moving to Chester, who's very happy to be here. And it's funny, I found this picture. I don't know if you can see it. I found it in my things. I am in the middle of moving, and I don't know how to make it. Is it this way? I don't know. Good enough. Good enough. I'm in the middle of moving. So I just have a few things with me, and that just popped out of one of my books, and I'm like, "Hi, Chester. How are you? I guess you're here with us." So he is here, and he's much. So he's comparing himself to Chris, which Chris was very dark and rooted, and had this fantastic, sarcastic, dark sense of humor, almost like the English dry humor, where Chester's saying, I was a little more bubbly. I was a little more loud, although he could be loud when he sang. He's like, I was just loud. I jumped around, and I was like, he's like, I was like the little kid compared to Chris. And he's very excited to be here. He's saying he's so happy that people still listen to his music. And he he said, he showed me he has this little kid energy. And he's just so excited to have this platform to share he's calling them gifts. His music was a gift to him. He feels it was heaven sent. He's mentioning UFOs. The first time he came to me, he mentioned UFOs, and he's mentioning them again. He's just fascinated with UFOs. He's like, I just love them. I love all that stuff. I love the alien stuff. And I think it's him. When I first started, he was mentioning, he had me get out this cup to put my water in, by the way. And so here it is. It's a flower, and of course you're not going to be able to see it. There you go. Sort of, there you go. One of these days I'm going to figure this out, how these cameras work. So I don't know, I'm not sure what kind of flower that is. I think it's a lilac maybe. But he mentioned to me purple flowers. I know that's pink, sort of lavender, but he mentioned purple flowers, and he also mentioned forget-me-nots. And I think Chris mentioned white roses. So those three flowers, they mentioned to me. So they go with one of the two. I do believe purple flowers, forget-me-nots, go with Chester, and white roses go with Chris. And I believe Chris would give his wife white roses and pink. He's also mentioning pink. But I do believe there may have been roses at his passing, at his ceremony. But forget-me-nots for Chester, and there may be a tattoo for forget-me-nots. Something with fans, forget-me-nots. He's very much into that. So also too, let me see here. There's also a planting of a tree. I want to say that is also for Chester, although I know that people have done a lot of things for Chris. No, so Chris is saying, oh, there's a statue for me. And he laughed, ha, 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 there's a statue. He's like, it is what it is. And he's saying, kids, it wouldn't be my forte. It wouldn't be something I would do, but I get it. Kids. That's all he was saying, kids. So his children must have had something to do with the statue. So anytime anything that has to do with Chris's children, all three of them, he just, anything, he loves them, anything goes. And he's very, very keen on mentioning all three. And again, so he's saying this is too short. I'm not going to go there about Lily, but Lily Bug. He's saying Lily Bug is his baby. He loves his Lily Bug. Okay, so Chester. Okay, so Chester makes notion to the family. Let's see, check the time. Not that I should be checking time, but I am. Oh, okay. We have about 5 minutes. So Chester makes notion about his family. So I feel like there's other mediums that are watching right now, and this is why he's bringing this up. Someone has a question out there. Chris was closer to his family than what Chester was to his. He loved his family, but there was something going on in his home life, his personal life. That he wants to make known for whatever reason. Chris is very on it, but Chester's saying, no, I want this out there so people know that it wasn't so quick. Okay. I think his wife moved on fairly quick. He said it wasn't so quick. It may have looked that way, but that wasn't the way it was. We were on the he's saying we were on the outs anyway. But I loved my wife and she loved me, but we had some problems that were arising. And he's saying, I'm not saying we were getting a divorce. It's nothing like that. But he understands why she moved on so quickly. And his lifestyle, his life was hard on her, he's saying. It was very hard. He's like, I lived a rock and roll life. He's like, Chris did it different. He's like, I tried to do it like Chris. I couldn't quite get it down. He's like, Chris just had a way about him of making things work. He's like, I couldn't make things work the same way. He's saying I was more selfish in what I wanted, where Chris gave everything. He's like, I didn't do that. He's like, I probably should have done it more so than what I did. And I'm asking about that fateful day. And okay, he's saying, you're saying there's no time to go into that. So we're not going to go into that. I will channel these two beautiful souls on my website, which is AntoinetteMarie.net, on my YouTube channel. I'm sorry, my brain is everywhere right now, which is Soul Tea with Marie. But anyway, so I just want to make sure I have all my messages. Dandelion, Forget Me Nots, 27 Club. So I know Kurt came through, but I also believe there's something with Chester. So Chester's here, if anyone's wondering, and Chris is here. Chester mentions the 27 Club. He was fascinated with the 27 Club for whatever reason. And that whole era. But there's something about the 27 Club that resonated with Chester. And also why he was drawn to Chris, even though Chris wasn't part of the 27 Club. There's something there about Chris, 27, and Chester. I don't know. If anybody's watching this, I put a little note. Please let me know, because I don't know. I don't know a lot of this stuff. I try not to look it up. What do they went in with? We have about 30 seconds here. Okay, so Chris says just spread the love. And Chester, spread the warmth. It's all about loving the ones around you, both of them. It's about loving the ones around you the most. Nothing else matters. And that's a reference to a song. So if you want to look that up, Chris is mentioning the song, Nothing Else Matters. And to hold on to what is most precious and don't ever let it go.
listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for Amanda Hall Psychic with Amanda Hall.
Live from AmandaHallPsychic.com.au. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Amanda Hall Psych on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Welcome to A1R Psychic Radio here on Moonstruck TV with Amanda Hall Psychic all the way from the Gold Coast. I hope wherever you are in your amazing part of the world that you've had an absolutely fantastic and sensational week. I know it's sort of difficult sometimes for us to try and keep upbeat and positive in the midst of life, and we all have a life and we all have challenges that get thrown at us every now and then, whether it's a work obstacle or having an issue with a family or a family matter, a passing of somebody, or just feeling a little bit sorry for yourself. And I mean, it's a time of the year where I think when the emotions are all in Cancer, that we can have some of these sort of little pockets of not so much down days, but sort of changing emotions. And I know my box has been full in this last week, and people sort of saying to me, how come I'm feeling a little bit strange? Well, it's just the planetary configurations. You know, we've had a few super moons and things like that, and we have a new moon and a full moon every month. But when you add that to the Cancer time of the year, where we're all supposed to nurture ourselves a little bit more, take a little bit better care of ourselves, give ourselves a little bit of downtime, sometimes we can find it a little bit overwhelming as these emotions sort of flow in and out. What do we do with them? And I know I'm no different to everybody else. I have my times like that too, but I suppose I have a little bit more of an understanding, being an astrologer, to work with the energies instead of working against them. Anyway, the Simply Tarot card of the week this week is the Wheel of Fortune. Now, this is one of my favourite cards, and it's always been a favourite card in the classroom with the students. When they see this card, they think, yippee doodle dandy, we're going to get some money. Yes, it can be an elevation in money, and sometimes it can mean an overseas trip, but more importantly, it usually means completion phases. It usually means that we've completed a phase or an area of our life that we've been working on for a very, very long time. So in that way, it's an extremely positive card. It also means that we have many different opportunities that we could take. We could go in many different directions. We just need to be careful, because not all directions are always positive. There's always someone there trying to take us down a peg or two, or trying to change our mind on what we think or what we know is right for us. So be careful of that too. But the main thrust of this is completion phases. Could be some elevation in money, could possibly be an overseas trip if that's what you're looking to do. But the most important thing is give yourself a good pat on the back, because it means you've been working really hard on loads and loads of issues that are now coming to a completion, that you've really put the effort in. You're really going to get what you put into the situation is now going to come back to you. And, a lot of people sort of say, oh, I worked really hard on that and didn't get the outcome that I wanted. Well, maybe it wasn't the outcome that you perceived you wanted, but maybe it was still the right outcome. Not everything that we do in life do we get our own way, or the perceived outcome that we believe to be right for us. But in hindsight, when we look back in time to come, we think, yeah, I'm pleased it worked out that way, because it actually put us on a better path, or put us on a new direction in the right way for where we need to be going. So we've got a really busy time now with astrology at the moment. We've got the sun in the last few degrees of Cancer. So it's always an exciting time, I think, when the sun's in Cancer, because, as I said at the top of the show, it's a time of the year where we've got to nurture ourselves, take a little bit of a breath and sort of slow down a little bit and do something that makes our soul feel good, something that's sort of not so much mothering ourselves, but giving ourselves a little bit of downtime, giving ourselves permission to have a little bit of downtime. And I think in this very, very busy world, we forget to do that. We forget to take a little bit of me time. And I know that was one thing that came out of COVID, when we were all forced to sort of stay at home and contemplate our navel. We all of a sudden found reasons why we should take care of ourselves a little bit better and take some time for ourselves. But I think, unfortunately, as we've got back to our real lives, we've forgotten that lesson that we learned. So it's really important to schedule in, even if it's only 5 minutes a day. A little bit of downtime goes a very, very long way. We have what's known as the Arabian part, or the part of fortune. Now, this is not where you're going to find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but this is what makes you feel as if you're in a position of empowerment at the moment. So the part of fortune to me is giving you a little bit of a boost to your own self-power is conjunct or holding hands the moon. Now, the moon is currently sitting in the fabulous sign of Leo. And I say the fabulous sign of Leo because my moon's in Leo. So I always feel very empowered when the moon's in Leo. And there's a little bit of a cheeky sort of saying we used to say as astrologers that if you've got the moon in Leo and you get out of bed and your hair doesn't go right, you're having a bad hair day, you may as well stay home and not do anything. Because if you think of Leo, the sign of the mane, of the lion with its beautiful mane, and it's very proud of its mane, well, you think of a person that's got the moon in Leo and they really are governed by their hair. So you usually find people that have moon in Leo tend to spend a lot of time on their hair or spend a lot of money at the hairdresser and on hair products. Just a little bit of trivia there for you. Okay, so we also have the Mercury, the planet of communication, is sitting in Leo. It's not conjunct anything. It's not holding hands with anything, but it means at the moment that you can put your message across, no matter what your star sign is, in a very powerful, very practical sort of way. And I'm going to use the word practical here with Leo because with you being so sort of forthright and clear in your communication, it comes across as being very practical, very well thought out, very articulated, great delivery, that you're very clear, you're very concise, very powerful in your message, that you're sort of saying, this is how it is, not what I want it to be. These are the facts, and it's very determined, it's very powerful. So be aware if you've got to go into any meetings this particular week that you are in the best shape, you're well prepared, you know exactly what you want to talk about, what you want to get across, but don't forget to put your listening ears on. It's equally as important to listen to the other side or the other person as it is to get your message across. Now, sometimes with the Mercury here in Leo, sometimes this can lead to sort of very powerful discussions and sometimes arguments or people not listening. And that's why I stress the point, make sure you have your listening ears on and then articulate your answer to the question that's been asked. Don't waffle on, don't go off on a tangent. They don't want a novel, they want the headlines. Then if somebody asks you to please elaborate or please extend on that, then that's your opportunity to shine. Now, don't forget, we're talking about the Leo energy here. So you have the opportunity to shine if you don't present yourself in a bombastic way or that you don't give them too much information. Give them enough to whet their appetite that they want more. That's really, really important. We have Saturn, the planet of discipline and restrictions in life, is sitting currently in the sign of Pisces. Now, this will affect more Pisces, Cancer, Scorpios. It will also affect Virgos, but it will flow on to all the other remaining signs as well. But they're the four predominant ones where Saturn in Pisces is going to really affect. Now, Saturn in Pisces is asking you to become extremely disciplined. He's asking you to have all your ducks in a row, have everything ready if you need to go into a battle, if you need to fight for something, if you need to be on top of your game. This is the time that Saturn is asking you to become a grown-up. Don't be silly. Put your best foot forward, but make sure that you've done your homework. Make sure that you've done the research. Make sure you don't go in to the discussion or the meeting without the information that is required. Otherwise, you're going to come across as being ill-informed, ill-educated or unprepared, which sometimes isn't the issue, particularly if you're going into a serious meeting or if you say you were going into your boss and you want to rise in money or salary, then you're asking them to give you a pay rise on these reasons, that, you know, that you're not just the best worker in the team, but you've brought this, this, and this, and this, and this. You know, you don't go in there and say, hey, mate, I want a pay rise. You know, you've really got to sell yourself and you've got to give them reasons why. Now, Saturn will be retrograde or going backwards until November this year. So we still have quite a few months of this energy, and the energy will only start to intensify and build over this period of time. If you're working correctly with the energy of Saturn, you have nothing to fear. It will just give you more determination, more ability to stay focused and really hone in on the job at hand or the situation at hand, or particularly if there's any legal or government matters that you need to attend to. This is perfect, particularly if you're a Pisces, then followed by a Cancer and a Scorpio. So, and a Virgo is the last sign that we'd be looking at there of the real intensity. But for the other remaining signs, we still need to be vigilant. This is a time when we can make great inroads. We can get some issues sorted out. We can have conversations that we haven't been able to have before and really sort out matters in our own mind, or become more disciplined or more organised around the home and the workplace. We also have Neptune, the planet of illusion or delusion, and also the planet of creativity, is in the last few degrees of Pisces also. This is also retrograde until December this year. Now, how Neptune works here, yes, Neptune still is retrograde, so it means that we need to be very, very careful that people aren't deceiving you. People aren't going about their business and deliberately trying to undermine you, deceive you, cheat you, do the wrong thing by you. If that's the case, this is the time when Neptune is retrograde, these situations will come to light. It's almost like somebody shining a light on a dark tunnel. All of a sudden you see the way forward. So again, I'm looking at the signs of Pisces, Cancer and Scorpio, opposite sign of Virgo. Not quite as much for the remaining 8 signs, but there's a little bit of a filter there. So it's asking you then to make sure that you're not deceiving anybody else. If somebody's been deceiving you or trying to cheat you out of something, this will be the time that the information will come to light. Yes, I appreciate we're human, and if, you know, somebody's done the wrong thing by you, we have the right to get a little bit cranky or a little bit emotional about it. Let that only be for a very short time. Turn that energy into something as a positive way to resolve this situation, or how you're going to move forward and proceed forward to resolve this situation. Put that anger, put that sort of aggressive, upset sort of energy, twist it around into something positive and give you the energy to perform these tasks that is absolutely sort of necessary. We still have Uranus, the planet of the unusual and unexpected, sitting in Taurus. Now, this will be affecting Tauruses, Capricorns and Virgos, and the opposite sign is Scorpio. So for those people, they still need to be aware that things can happen out of the blue, things can happen out suddenly, out of nowhere, things that you think that you've got under control, particularly when it comes to finances and the things that are important to you, may be challenged during this time, because Uranus's job is to come in, shake everything up and say, do you really want it that way? Is that really how it's meant to be? And sometimes if you've been doing the wrong thing or overlooked something or haven't been as honest in your dealings with things, then Uranus will bring this to light. That is Uranus's role. Uranus doesn't sort of look at something and say, oh, you've been good 99% of your life, we'll avoid that 1%. No, Uranus's role is to shake things up, bring them out of nowhere. And if you've been doing the wrong thing, then you will be caught. It will be brought to the light, so that, you know, things can be suddenly put on the right path. If you've been working well with the Uranian energy, then it can be a time of great reward, because things can come to you really quickly. You can be offered that plum job, that plum opportunity, something that you only ever dreamed of, that you thought would never happen in your lifetime, but it'd be nice to. These are the sort of rewards that Uranus can bring if you're being true to yourself and you're not trying to cheat or deceive anybody else. And I know that I'm talking a lot about deception, but there's been quite a bit of deception around, particularly in this last 12 months, where you see a lot of things in the media and things like that, things coming out to light, where people that have got away with things for a very long time, whether it's underpaying people, whether it's governments, they're all coming to light, because we can't move forward unless we bring these things out into the open and clean it up. Because now that we've got Pluto that's in Capricorn until the end of this year, the early part of 2024, Pluto's really ramping everything up. So it's sort of almost like Pluto's shining the light on other energies like Uranus and Neptune and Saturn as well, sort of saying we can't allow these discrepancies to go on anymore. If people have been getting away with things and doing the wrong things and hurting other people or being deceitful to other people, now we're going to bring it to life. We're going to make them to be accountable for this, and we're going to make the world a better place. That is what Pluto's role is, and Pluto's joining hands in a roundabout fashion with all these other planets, slower moving, more in-depth planets, to bring about the changes globally that we need. But again, it comes back to a personal level. You have nothing to fear if you haven't done the wrong thing. If you've been a law-abiding citizen, you've always tried to be the best person you can be as fair as possible, be good to your friends and your relatives, you have nothing to fear. But if you've been a greedy sort of person that's run roughshod over people and tried to deceive people and tried to take more than what's rightfully yours, then watch out, because the planets are going to come along and give you a little bit of a taste of your own medicine and bring things to light. So we're going to talk with Elizabeth now in North. Oh, we haven't got Elizabeth yet. We're going to keep talking about astrology for a moment. So it's really interesting, though, that how astrology works. I mean, I've been working with astrology now over 40 years. And when I first got into it, it was a little bit of about something that I was just interested in. And I thought it was something that would be fun to learn. I didn't realize it was such an in-depth research sort of science, and there were so many technicalities there and so many things to learn. And I suppose I was fortunate enough that I always enjoyed mathematics, because in the very early stages prior to computers, we had to do everything by hand, and the mathematical calculations just to get a chart ready to work with a person was over 10 hours. So you can imagine, of 10 hours of work, mathematics, pen on paper, making sure that you checked and rechecked your calculations, because one little slip up could make a huge difference to a chart, and you'd be halfway through and you think that piece doesn't fit, and you'd go back and look, oh blast, I made a mistake then. So we're going to talk with Elizabeth now in North Yorkshire. Are you there, Elizabeth?
Yes.
Do you have a question I can answer for you, please, sweetie?
I would like to look at career, please. Is there a new job out there for me?
Yeah, well, the first thing that they were showing me, the first symbol they were showing me, Elizabeth, as you were asking that question, was the symbol of endings, change and transformation. So I can only take from that yes, there's going to be a new job, because there's the coming to the end of the current situation. It's interesting, though, because the other energy that they were sharing with me from Spirit was the fact that this was a slow decision, Elizabeth. It wasn't something you got out of bed last week and decided, great, I'd like a new job. This has been building for a period of time, has it not?
Yes.
Yeah, and in that way I think it's good, Elizabeth, because you've really looked at everything from every angle. You haven't just sort of had a bad day at work and thought to myself, I'd like a new job. You've sat down, you've looked at everything, you've looked at your finances, you've looked at how long you've been in the job, where the job could take you, and you've come to the conclusion that there really isn't much further you can go in this role. So to sort of put some sparkle back into your work life, it's time for a change. And I think that's a good thing. I wish I could say it was going to be this week, Elizabeth. I'm sort of seeing the month of September. So I'm looking at that as being sort of the stronger time when the change will be for a job. But I'm going to ask you to sort of go back, have a quick look at your resume or your CV, whatever you call it, and make sure that it's up to the minute. You know, make sure it's punchy, it makes you sort of stand out, that you've got something really exciting and wonderful to bring to a new company. And then just do a little double check to make sure that, you know, there isn't any skill that you might need to update or anything like that, so that it puts you in the best position. I mean, you know, going to apply for a new job is a really big thing. You know, we've got to make sure we get the resume right. We've got to make sure our skills are up to the minute. But we also have to make sure that, you know, we have a couple of nice outfits to wear so that you walk in there and you feel powerful. And I think that's the important thing, because I think a lot of jobs are won and lost on how we present at the interview. Yes, the skill set is important, but I think it also comes across at how well dressed we are, how confident we are, the types of questions we ask, that we want to know about the position. You know, do your research on the company if it's really something that you want to go for. And I can't see that you're going to fail. But what I'm seeing also, Elizabeth, was the job was going to be a little bit closer to home, which will be nice.
Yes.
And I don't know that it's completely out of the type of work you're doing now. I just see it as being more robust. And I don't know how to describe that, because they never show me what the actual job is that you're doing. But to me, this just had a more solid, robust sort of feel. And I felt really comfortable, you know, like I really feel like, you know, you walk into this job and you're there a couple of weeks and you think, this is really good. I feel like I'm home. This is where I'm meant to be. You know, like you can see yourself being there a long time. So that's all good. So have you been making some changes to the home too, Elizabeth? Because I kept seeing some furniture being moved around. Okay, well, that's where we're going to leave Elizabeth now. We're going to talk with Rachel in Alvarado, Texas, and I'll probably pronounced that wrong, Rachel. How are you today, Rachel?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, sweetie. Do you have a question I can answer for you?
Well, am I able to speak to any of my loved ones from the other side?
Sweetie, with the couple of minutes that we've got to do this, unless they jump in and give me something specific, it's easier for me if you give me a question. If they want to chime in, I'll certainly give you everything I get.
Okay, can you just give me any advice for my future relationship status or love life?
Okay, so no one special at the moment in your life, Rachel?
Well, I did meet somebody. We only been together like 2 weeks, though. But I've been single 8 years, so.
Okay, can I just have his first initial, please? I don't need the name, just his first initial, please, sweetie.
K.
Okay. That just gives me something to work with. Really, really interesting, because you've got quite a choir on the other side that have all been sitting there with bated breath. It's like they've all been at the movies or at a concert, and they're all just waiting. So, and I think they've been waiting for you to meet this lovely man. You know, it's sort of like they've been holding their breath and fingers and toes crossed, and wow, it's happened. So I think they're all pretty excited. That's good. It's a fair mixture of people. It's not just all females or not just all males. It's quite a crowd there. Look, I couldn't tell you one from another. There's at least 10 people there, and they've all been just waiting for this event. So this is good. Look, I feel the situation, this new romantic situation, I think will develop slowly. I don't see it as being a fast situation. It's a very slow situation. You're both very cautious. So I'm taking from that maybe he hasn't been in a relationship for a while too, or is just super cautious, but that's good. You're taking your time to get to know each other. I feel really comfortable with this. I don't feel uncomfortable with this. Look, some of your friends could turn around and say, oh, well, you know, yeah, he's nice, but, well, that's none of their business. As long as you're happy and he makes you happy and you feel comfortable and he's comfortable with you, it's nobody else's business. I actually feel this is going to develop into a really, really nice friendship, and then into a really nice, serious relationship that's going to go the distance. It's sort of, it's a mixture of being sort of giggly schoolgirl feeling and then being sort of very serious, very grown up. I'm taking my time, I'm analysing everything, but at the same time I still feel this excitement in my, you know, this tingling in my body, the excitement of being like a teenager falling in love for the first time. So I think all of those emotions are wonderful, Rachel, and that's good. It's about time. I think you certainly know now what you want in a relationship and what you won't accept in a relationship. I can't see anything there that I don't like about him. He just seems a very decent man.
Yeah, he's very nice. So I'm just like wondering, okay, is this a trick or what?
Yeah, no, he is. You know, what you see is what you get. There's no BS there. If you ask him a question, he'll give you an honest answer to the best of his ability. And if he says, I don't want to talk about it, it's not he's got anything to hide. It's just sort of like, well, what bearing does that have on us? You know what I mean? Like, I like him. I really do like him. He's a very decent sort of man. I think some people sort of look at him and think maybe you could have done a little bit better. I don't agree with that. You know, he's very honest. I'd rather somebody be a little tiny bit rough around the edges and be very honest and open and you know what you're getting than somebody putting on an act, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and that's why I've been confused, because I have, you know, a set of people who know him who are telling me things, but what I see in him is good. So I'm like, okay. So just trying not to listen to others and follow my heart.
Yeah, exactly. Look, you can only go with how you see him and what he presents to you. You know, everybody will have a slightly different version of the truth. You know, you've only got to look at Chinese whispers. You know, something starts out here and it's completely different when it gets to the other end. Well, that's the same when people are assessing someone. And you're going to see probably a different side to him to what they've seen too, because they're not in a romantic situation. They may have been his friend or his work colleague. Well, you know, we're not all soft and gentle when we're working with someone. Sometimes you can be a bit abrupt and forthright, and particularly if you're the boss, you've got to get the job done. So, you know, like, just follow your heart. As long as there's nothing there that sends off, I work on the rule of 3 strikes and you're out. I didn't see any strikes with him. You know, and if you work, and I'm talking about 3 major ones. If you get 3 major ones, then they're out no matter what. because you know then this is not right. But there's nothing there that I can see that would make me concerned. If anything, I think he's a bit slow in sort of coming forward with how he feels. But look, is that a major crime? That just means to me that he's not rushing into anything. He's giving you a chance to make sure you feel comfortable too. And, you know, it'll develop at its own natural pace. So I think he's wonderful. I can see nothing but happiness for the two of you.
You've helped me a lot. Thank you.
You know, you've been through so much, Rachel. And I mean, you know, you came out of a situation previously all those years ago where you were literally like a skeleton. You know, you needed to put some layers of flesh back on you because you'd been hurt so severely. Well, here you've got a man who is aware of that without you even telling him, and he's just taking it very gently, making sure that you're very comfortable. I think that's wonderful.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you.
I really like him. I think he's a lovely man. And look, enjoy this time of new love and, you know, gazing into each other's eyes and losing all sense of time. It's nice to feel a bit like a teenager again.
Yeah, it's just really shocker because after 8 years, it's like, okay, maybe I am meant to be single. Then bam, here he came.
No. It's just the right time now, Rachel. Anyway, sweetie, that's where we've got to leave it. The show comes to an end really, really quickly. It's always lovely to speak with everybody around the world. This week I want to leave you with an old song, probably back in the 70s, and now I'm showing my age, but it's a song that I think has many different layers. I know when the song was written, it was written about a broken heart and, you know, how stupid he was and should never have done it. But to me, I always look at this song in a positive light because I feel that it's something we can all do, is turn around and stand tall. And it's a beautiful song about a broken heart, but I always look at it as being a positive song that, you know, you need to stand up for yourself, you need to stand tall, be proud of who you are. Burton Cummings is his name, probably had many other hits, but this was my favourite one of his. And it's just a song that every now and then I put it back on the turntable and I just sing loudly to it, out of tune, of course. And I just think it's an amazing song of, you know, getting over yourself, getting over your broken heart and moving forward. And I think we can all do a little bit more of that in the coming week, of standing up for ourselves, standing tall and believing in ourselves, no matter what's happening in our lives, that we can and we are meant to be here on this planet. And, you know, every day is a blessing that we wake up. And so until next week, stand tall and enjoy Burton Cummings. Bye for now.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Understanding Spirit with Mary Shapano. Live from MaryVCircles.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites,
AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is Understanding Spirit
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week of Understanding Spirit. I'm your host, Mary. I hope you've all had a good week. Today, I'm going to be talking a little bit about dreams and how you can get some answers regarding what's going on in your mind when you're sleeping. I don't pretend to know anything about symbols in dreams and what they all mean and how to interpret them that way. However, we do unpack a lot of our baggage while we're sleeping, and essentially we're just getting these thoughts, emotions, feelings as we sort out problems in our life, what's happened during the day on a subconscious level. Sometimes we'll dream of loved ones and they're pretty straightforward. You might get a message, but they're nothing crazy. There's nothing crazy about them. However, if you do have dreams, especially recurring dreams, where they are a bit everywhere and you're like, I have no idea what's going on in my head right now, then you can tune into your guide through a very quick meditation and see if you can get some answers as to why you're having this dream, what's causing it, how you can stop it from reoccurring. So we'll be doing that on today's show. We'll also be doing I'll get you to do something if you want to where you can get answers during your dreams. So if you're after a particular job or something like that, you can sort of like set the intention, and I'll just tell you how to write your question and how often to do it. And you can just keep doing it with as many things as you want until you get, the answer that you want. So if you want an answer for something, or what you want to know, whether it's about a relationship, your finances, or anything that you want to accomplish, right? You've got to put it in a question form, and you've got to put in a very specific question, and only one question at a time. So you wouldn't say, if I get this job, am I going to have enough money to go overseas for a holiday at the end of the year? All right, that's too many questions. So you really got to go just one question at a time. And you would be saying, show me how I can achieve, say, my dream job in sales and marketing. All right. Now you write out your question on a piece of paper and you have to read it out loud 10 times. All right. Then you will set the intention by reading it out and saying, during my sleep, please answer my question of how I can get my dream job, for example, in sales and marketing. Put the piece of paper under your pillow when you're sleeping, or if you like, you could put it inside your pillow if you're a bit of a restless sleeper and you think it's going to fly off the bed, and then it will stay there. Have the expectation and set the expectation that your question is going to get answered, and we do that by having a piece of paper and a pen next to our beds, or if you journal dreams, you've got your journal next to you, and as soon as you get up, write down what you get. Don't think that you're going to remember. Quite often we don't. And certainly not in as much detail. I've done that to myself many, many times over the years, and now I've just learned, you know, if I'm going to get messages in the morning, I've got to have something there so I can write them down, you know, straight away. Now, you'll do this for 7 days, and you'll do it until you get your answers. Okay, now you might get your answers earlier than 7 days. And if you do, that's perfectly okay. You can then move on to another question if you have. And if you don't, then that's fine. You can do it again if something surfaces in your life down the track. Okay, because we do get a lot of thoughts. I have spoken before about claircognizance, which is just knowing things. And you might just wake up and all of a sudden you just know what you need to do to achieve, for example, like this example that I gave of achieving, you know, a dream job in sales and marketing. And you can be more specific than that if you can. All right, I'm just giving it as an example. And you can be like working in a particular place or a promotion, or it can be about a relationship. So you just stay to the point. Don't make it too long-winded. All right. But be very direct with your question. Okay. Now, going to dreams, if you do find that you are having crazy dreams all the time, then this is a good meditation for you to do. Again, you can take your time with it. We never sort of really have enough time to do it at the pace that we would do it if, you know, I was sitting one-on-one with you and reading it out for you or saying it out for you. But in this case, you get all the meditations that my guide gives me are all pretty basic. So when you do meditate, you can kind of pretty much remember what you need to do. And certainly with this one, the questions, I'll just give you an example of some questions that you can ask, and you might think of your own that are better suited for what you're seeing when you're meditated, so you can kind of tailor it to suit you. Okay, so as usual, if you feel like doing it now, you can, and as usual, always protect yourself whenever you're opening up to spirit. All right, remember that even if you're not a psychic medium or you feel like you don't have any abilities, right, we are all connected with intuition, and we are all connected energetically, and your guide works with you whether you're aware of your guide or not. Okay, so you can still ask all these questions and they will give it to you. The answers will be given to you in a way that you will understand them. Okay, so there'll be nothing very complicated in terms of the response. So I'll just get you, if you feel like doing it now, I'll get you to just visualize white light coming down and just see it forming a white ribbon around you from head to toe. And then I want you to visualize another white light coming around your body, completely cocooning you, making you feel safe and happy. And we're just going to relax with some breathing. So just breathe into the counter form and hold to the counter form, and breathe out to the counter form. And breathe into the counter form, hold to the counter form, and breathe out to the counter form. Breathe into the counter form, hold to the counter form, and breathe out to the counter form. I want you now to just relax in your seat. Just feel yourself melting into your seat. Just going back to your regular breath. And I want you to visualize yourself standing in front of a window. This window is unique to you, and it can look any way that you want it to. Your dreams are a window to your inner self, and your window will reflect that. So when you look into your window, you are looking essentially into your subconscious mind. Looking through your window, there is a wealth of information there for you that will lead you on a journey of self-discovery. And as you look through your window, you can ask the questions of what current problems are surfacing in my dreams. What emotions from my life are coming up through my dreams? Who or what is bringing up all these emotions in my dreams? What message is my subconscious mind trying to send to me through my dream? See if you can relate to your dreams from a different perspective as you look through your window. You can also ask your guide to show you how you can deal with a problem that is rising in your dream so it won't keep reoccurring. Always ask for solutions for anything that comes up in your dreams. Tell your subconscious mind that you wish to set the intention that when you dream, you'll also be given answers and anything you need to help you during your sleep state to resolve your dreams or whilst you're in an awakened state. Just see what comes up for you. Just see, sense, or feel what you're receiving. Don't judge it. Don't allow your ego to take over. Just allow your higher self to show you everything that you need to know today about your dream. When you're ready, you can step back from your window and you can bring your awareness back to the room and back to the seat. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. When you have dreams, there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of dream books and stuff out there, and they do talk about symbols and things like that. And certainly if you gravitate towards that and that makes sense for you, by all means, it's just another tool that you can use. I do find a lot of them are not consistent. And at the end of the day, it is one person's interpretation and what they've been shown and given in terms of what's in their subconscious mind, what their symbols mean. So just sort of, they can be hit and miss. So that's why I feel like, these a meditation like this, going within, asking your guide to show you what, is going on in your head and why you're seeing what you're seeing, because sometimes that can be very confusing. And so I feel like that's the better way to go, and to trust it, so you can have a bit of fun with it, and just see what you get and see how it helps you. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a good week, and remember, smile. You never know who's going to need that from you. Put it out there, pay it forward energetically. I promise you it'll come back to you. Bye.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome.
Time for Energy, Healing, and Spirit Talk with Tammy Petricelli. Live from TammyPetricelli.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is Energy, Healing, and Spirit Talk
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello. It's Tammy Petricelli with Energy, Healing, and Spirit Talk here in Newark, Delaware, USA. And it's a beautiful day here, which we're so thrilled because we've had such rainy weather, like for a past month. 4 weeks of torrential rainstorms every other day. On the days that it wasn't torrentially rainstorming and thundering, it was poor air quality due to the fires in Canada. It was amazing how it affected our air quality here. And we're quite a bit away, from where the fires were. So I hope that it's wonderful where you are. I'm so happy for you to join me today, whether you're joining me live or if you're watching this later. Please watch all the way to the end of the broadcast, because you know what? I've been doing this broadcast for a year now, and it just hit me today. I should celebrate that by offering a free half-hour reading by Zoom. So I'm going to tell you how you can enter to get that free reading at the end of our broadcast, okay? But if you would like to study a little bit with me and with some of our other mediums who've been studying with me in the mentorship, once a month we have a spirit circle. A spirit circle is where you can get together and practice your mediumship or your psychic gifts, or you can come in and be a sitter for those that are practicing. And sometimes people just like to polish up on their skills, keep them fresh, and we do that the second Wednesday of every month. It is through Zoom. It is $15. United States dollars, and you can contact me at Pike Creek Reiki at AIM.com, Pike Creek Reiki at AIM.com, or text at area code 302-530-6682, and we can tell you how to get signed up for that and how to get the Zoom. So tomorrow night is our monthly spirit circle, and every month at the second Wednesday of each month. I'd like to say hello to Erin in Waverly, Ohio, the USA. Hi, Erin. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you.
Erin, how's the air quality, by the way, in Ohio? Because you're a little closer to Canada than we are.
Yeah, it's not too bad. last week was real foggy, or smoky, I guess is what it is. But today is a lot better.
Good, good. Us too. Okay, Erin, do you have a question for me, or would you like me to try to reach someone on the other side for you?
Well, I have someone that just passed recently. A couple people actually within a month, and then my grandmother passed a year ago, and I still haven't got her back to use her body.
So would you like me to try to connect with grandmother?
Yes.
And her name, please?
Jean.
Jean or Jane?
Jean, Gean, yes.
Jean, okay. All right, thank you. Okay. So I feel this motherly energy that is coming through, and she makes me feel like this was a woman who would not have always put herself first. Do you understand that? Because she is showing me that she is watching over your other two people that have come through and that have passed over recently. And she tells me that one is a relative, one is not. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. She just shows me that she is bringing them through. I know that one is a male, his energy is stronger, and this is a male, I feel, that would be in the family. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Because she's actually pushing him forward, like, even though you do want to hear from her, you want to hear from him more, because the passing was a bit of a surprise. You understand that?
Yes.
Yeah, because they make me feel that this was not expected. It was not expected. It was not a long-term, illness or anything. And would you understand this person either being particular about how they were dressed or owned their own business, please?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
The gentleman that passed quickly, that grandmother is bringing through, that is a relative. He comes to me in a suit. When I see someone in a suit, it means either they were particular about how they presented themselves, or they were in business for themselves or owned a business.
No, he didn't.
Neither?
But, no, not really.
Okay, can I have his name, please?
Jason.
Nathan?
Jason.
And
sorry, Jason.
Oh, Jason. Okay. And is there a David connected with him, please?
No.
Okay. I heard that name first. Okay. So I just want to try to bring him through. He does take he is taking some responsibility for his own passing, but he's saying it was accidental. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Because he does say, accidental. I'm trying to ask him, why is he presenting in a suit? Because that's not either of my. Well, it doesn't mean they wore a suit, but it could also mean an entrepreneurial spirit. Someone who wanted to have their own business or wanted to get into business. Sometimes it can mean other things, but those are my two. So I'm not quite understanding what he's coming in. And is there a small young male child that he would feel that he's leaving behind, please?
There's 4 female children. Small. 2 small.
4 female children.
I'm sorry.
You said that he had 4 girls?
Yes. And a grandchild.
Is the grandchild male?
No, they're all females.
They're all female. He's showing one looks male to me, but I feel like we're going to the grandchild because it's a small child. and I'm sorry, but I just interpreted, unless this is a very strong-willed little girl, I picked up on a male energy, and sometimes that will come through energetically. If they're an assertive type of person versus a sensitive type of person. Sensitive male may show to me as a female energy.
He's very sensitive.
Okay. Yeah, he is really, he's pretty much calling himself a dumb butt. Saying that, yeah, he says, I was really, really being stupid. Really, he says, playing with fire. He says, I was playing with fire. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. And he says, I am really, really, really sorry. Is this your brother, please?
My husband's brother, like mine. I've known him for 25 years.
Okay, brother-in-law?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, because that's a brother to me. That's how he comes through energetically. And he says thank you to you, because he tells me that you've really been a comfort to the family, whether that's to your husband or your sister-in-law or your nieces. He's telling me you've been a big help and a big comfort to the family. Do you recognize that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. He also says he left paperwork a mess. Do you understand that?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. For instance, it makes me feel like he did not have all of this kind of under control. He just talks about the mess that he's left behind, not just emotionally, but paperwork wise. And everybody is pretty much stunned, and they're kind of just, he makes me feel like everybody is just putting their hands up. Like, what was he thinking? What was he thinking? Why was he being this way?
Yes, I understand all that.
And he's very grateful to your grandmother for allowing him her time, he says, to come and speak to you during this time. The other person that passed quickly, is that a female, please?
No, it's a male too.
It is another male. He may be then referring to another female that's here. He was married at the time or separated?
My brother-in-law or the other male?
Your brother-in-law.
He had a girlfriend, yeah.
Okay, so he wasn't legally married.
No.
Okay. That may be what he's bringing in. He's bringing up the female. I just kind of jumped the gun. I just kind of jumped the gun and thought it was, the other person.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, were they living together, please?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's like now it's really a mess because of having no paperwork and no legals set up. So he sends and extends an apology to her also for him being a dumb behind. And thank you, Erin, so much. I hope that was helpful in your healing. You're welcome. Okay, for those of you, I promise before we end, I've got less than a minute. If you are interested in going into a drawing for a free reading with me, half an hour by Zoom, you can go to my Facebook site, which is Tammy D. Petricelli Medium. Like and follow the page, and then post on that page, I saw you on Moonstruck TV, or I heard you on A1R Psychic Radio, and your name will go into a drawing. And next Tuesday, I won't be here next Tuesday, but I will do a drawing. So for the week after, and I'll post it on my Facebook site. And this way I could get a hold of you and we can make arrangements for when it's convenient for a reading. Mwah. Thank you guys so much. I will be AOL next week, but I'm sure Dave will pick a wonderful repeat performance, maybe this one again. And have a great week. Love you. See you in 2.
listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Your Time to Shine with Julie Yeager-Walker. Julie Yeager-Walker. Live from Wings of Souls with Julie.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is Your Time to Shine
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Your Time to Shine, a radio show designed to help you explore your own divine gifts. Good evening. I hope this evening finds you well. Thank you so much for tuning in with me this evening. I'm happy to have you here. And I have some really exciting news. I know last week I kind of tantalized you a little bit, letting you know that a good friend and medium that I know, her and I are hosting a retreat in Canada in this October. And the good news is I've got all the information up on my website. It is live. You can sign up to join us the weekend of October. I believe it's, oh, now I'm blanking on the dates. I believe it's the 13th and 14th. It is a weekend. It might be 14th and 15th. I think that's what it is. But go to my website, check it out, wingsofsoulswithjulie.com. You'll find all the information. There's a special tab right there that talks about the Angel Within Retreat. It's going to be a beautiful weekend of healing and making new friends and diving deep into our soul's calling. There's going to be some meditations and some great guest speakers. So don't miss out. Again, we've got it live on my website. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, but hope to see you all there in Canada in October. All right. So tonight, the topic is all about taking care of ourselves. Perfect after I've just talked about the Angel Within Retreat, which is all about self-care, right? And loving yourself. And a big part of that is being able to be open to receiving. And I pulled some cards this evening. And again, they are right on with the topic of talking about the Angel Within Retreat. But the two cards I pulled are called Relax and Available. And so relaxing is all about diving deep into how you relax, how you relax and you sleep well, and taking care of you, asking and receiving all of the blessings that come with relaxation, and knowing that every moment is presenting itself with ease and with blessings. I thought it was a beautiful card. The second one is being available and open. And not only being available and open to receive blessings, but open and available to receive all kinds of information, right? Knowing that the most baffling problems will come to fruition as long as we are available. And being available also means being open, quieting the mind, relaxing and being in the moment. When we can relax and we can be available and we can calm the mind, that's when all the information can come to us. It's going to be all of the ideas that we've been asking for, all of the information, the questions being answered, right? And again, all of these come in steps. So you have to be patient because you might get little pieces of information at a time, and it's all within baby steps. The universe gives us everything that we need, but it's in little chunks, little baby steps. So, asking a question about something, you may get the spark of an idea, right? And then that will lead to something else. It may lead to research, to answering a question. It may be just a step in the direction to get where you're going. But all of that comes from being in that relaxed state, being able to receive and being open and available to receive. So as humans, our brains go 90 miles an hour. I know mine does. I know that I am a horrible overthinker. Sometimes the overthinking is a good thing. Sometimes the overthinking can work against me. However, it's about stopping and letting that mind go, releasing that mind and being in that peaceful situation. And to get there, for me, it's being able to find the silence, the quiet, right? It's about me being able to go shut the door, turn on some great relaxing music and get into meditation. Or it may be going out into nature and touching a tree. That's another one of my big ones is getting out and being in the natural environment around the trees or around the river. So whatever it is that you need to do, maybe it's getting in the bathtub, whatever it is that you need to do to be able to shut the brain down, quiet the mind so that spirit can come in, your angels can come in and give you the guidance and the inspiration that you've been looking for and asking for. So again, the self-care comes back in as receiving, right? We all have to stop. And, my husband and I even got into conversation about this, about I don't always give myself the time that I need each day. And so it's about carving that time out for yourself. It's that self-care. It's what keeps us balanced, aligned, and keeps our sanity. So very important to give yourself that time, that self-care that you are needing each day, each and every day. It's so important. And calming that mind so that you can receive, so that you can think clearly what your next step is going to be, and counting our blessings and our gratitude, no matter how small that is. I've been trying to do a daily practice of waking up and really embracing blessings. Looking at one or two things that I am really deeply grateful for. And they can be anything. It doesn't have to be large. It could be as easy as, having the alarm clock to be able to wake you up in the morning to get you going and off to work and to school. Well, I guess school is out right now for the summer, but for those, taking summer classes, it's the simplest little things, finding the gratitude and finding the blessings and feeling that deep, deep within inside and letting that come out. And as you let that come out, right, it shifts and it changes our body chemistry and our dynamic. And it starts us off on the right foot each and every day. So a lot of information there, but the whole premise behind it is the self-care and being in the awareness and being open into receiving what it is that the universe is bringing through. Okay, so be kind to yourself. because you are the only one that can give you the love that you are needing in the moment. And so it's really important to have that self-love and to have that self-care to keep you in the healthy mindset and also the body healthiness mindset. All right. Well, right now we have a caller on the line. We have Lindy in Ocean Shores, New South Wales, Australia. Good evening, Lindy,
Hello.
and welcome to Your Time to Shine.
Hello.
How are you?
Thanks for taking my call.
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Yeah, I'm at the beach.
What was that?
I'm at the beach. So it's a good place to be.
I'm jealous. I want to be at the beach. Good job in that self-care. That's awesome. Is it?
Will I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Okay, I have a question about I'm looking for a house, and if you can see anything regarding that. I've made a big move, and I have to find my own home.
Okay. All right, perfect. Lindy, let me check in really quick to see what information the angels and your guides are bringing in. And as I do that, there'll just be a little moment of silence, and then I'll be right back with you, okay?
Yep.
Okay. All right, Lindy. So what I'm being shown is Spirit is really excited about this. They're already putting together like the perfect little place. I keep getting this feeling or the words around a little cottage, right? Something very, very quaint and very homey. And it's like you're going to be so excited. You're going to be so excited with this. There's this feeling around it of something being yours, right? It feels like are you thinking about buying or renting? Because it feels like there's this energy around you actually purchasing a place.
I'm buying.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
buying. Yeah, I've made a big move, though. I've made a big move up towards where my daughters live, and yeah, it's very, yeah. I've just got to find out where I can fit in, sort of thing, and find a place.
Right. What they're showing me is that you're going to be very close to water with this place.
Yeah.
So
That
I don't
sounds
know
good.
if you're close, like literally like on a river or a lake or something like that, or if you're just in very close proximity to one, but it feels like this draw to water, and this cozy little cottage kind of nestled in, and this homey, they just keep showing me like this very homey feeling. They're saying don't get too caught up in details.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I just missed out on one, and I'm like trying not to be so angry with myself.
Okay. So yeah, so that particular one that you were looking at, that wasn't quite right for you. There's another one that's coming up, and it's not
Okay.
too far behind. But they just keep bringing me back to, don't get caught up in the details of it. Like, take a step back and look at the big picture of everything. So
Okay.
I don't know if you're getting down into the details of like what it looks like on the inside, or what it looks like on the outside and the grounds, but they're saying those things can shift. Okay, that you really need to be more from the eagle's perspective, and like, or the hawk, right? And looking down on it and seeing the entire thing.
Okay.
Okay. So the other thing I keep hearing is, get ready to move, because it's going to come fast when it starts
Oh,
happening.
that's fantastic.
And what you're going to find out is, it's almost kind of like you found something and you're like, oh yeah, maybe, right? And it's like you put an offer in, or you talk to them about it, and then all of a sudden you guys are signing agreements, and you're like, whoa, what just happened, right? It's going to be as easy as you can ever imagine. So when it happens very easily and very seamlessly, that's when you know that you are in the flow. That's when you know that it was meant to be, and it was brought to you. It's because you're not in resistance, you're in flow. And it's when you're in resistance and you think, oh, I really want that house, I really want that house, but it's like you're fighting every little thing, and it just seems like it's so difficult to get anywhere. That's not the one for you. Okay.
Oh, okay. So the one that I didn't get, was that not meant for me?
It was not meant for you.
Because I feel like, because I negotiated it, I had the papers to sign, and I just dilly-dallied. It had everything I sort of wanted, and I just didn't act, and I don't know why.
It's because deep down inside you knew that wasn't the right one. So it's like your soul was saying, nope, this isn't the right one. Even though your human self goes, oh yeah, it's got all of these things, right? It checks all my boxes. But for whatever reason, your soul is saying, no, this is not the right one.
Okay.
So, when we go through a process like that, and this has even happened with me, right? You go through a process and you think, oh my goodness, this is the right one. It has this, this, and this. It's got everything I want. And then something happens. It delays, or maybe you take one day too long deciding, and then the opportunity goes away. And you're frustrated and you're upset, but that opportunity wasn't the right opportunity for you. As much as we want to make it correct and make it right for us, it's not the right one.
Okay.
Okay. When the right one comes, so they're showing me the right one isn't going to be exactly what you think it's going to be. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they're saying take a step back and look at it from a different perspective. Because when the right one does come along, it's going to be very easy. Like I said, every step of the way is going to be like so easy. You're going to think, wow, how did that happen? That was so easy.
Oh,
Okay. So they're saying, let that process happen.
okay.
I really feel like in the next month or so, something is going to come through.
Okay.
They're also saying open up, expand. They're saying like expand your search, expand your parameters. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that's not really what I want to do, but it's very hard to limit it to where I am looking because there's not much there.
Okay.
So that does make sense. Yeah, even though I don't want to go, because if I go up a bit further, it just gets so busy.
Yes. Again, they're saying they're just bringing me back to take a step back and open up more possibilities.
Okay.
They're saying that it's getting too narrow. Like they're showing me like almost like a funnel where it goes down and it gets really, really narrow. So you need to broaden that and open that up a little bit more.
Yeah, that's why I'm feeling like, I should have just taken that other one because there's probably not going to be another one for another, I don't know, year or something like that.
So they're saying it may not be in the location that you are hoping for, but the location is still going to be good. It's going to be a location where you think, wow, I never thought about living here, but it's working out really well.
Okay. And it's planned.
I'm also seeing that this, and it's really fuzzy because they're going kind of back and forth, and they're showing me that your final decision, but this also could be more like a stepping stone for you, right? This is going to get you into something, and then a couple of years down the road, another one, and they're saying the one that you're going to get is going to be great, you're going to love it, but then there could be one that comes down the road that would be even better, right? A better location. And it's almost like what they're showing me is almost like this is giving you a chance to really look at all the different areas, like here in the States, it would be like different cities or different towns around a larger town, right? And so it's going to give you that idea of like, I wonder what it would be like to live on that other side of town, right? Or the other side of the city. And it's going to give you this time to be able to explore and really give you that feeling of this is where I want to be. But they're also saying, and this is why it's really going to come down to your decision, because the place that you're going to get right now or in the very near future is going to give you all of the things that you need and more. It's really going to be more of a choice of convenience and everything around it. Okay. So there's going to be another opportunity to come up, and it's going to be your decision as to how you handle that. And they say either way is going to be the right decision.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
So no, that's a bit confusing. But okay, so I realize I have to let go of the one I missed out on, but I just can't work out why I didn't sign, and it's eating me. I don't know why I didn't sign it when it was so perfect for me.
Yeah. So what you can do is you can ask your angels, and guides to cut the ties with that house so that the one that is meant to be for you is able to come through. Because as long as you are still thinking about that other house, the one that is meant for you isn't going to be able to come through.
Yeah, I understand that. That's
Yeah.
why I'm trying to get it out of my head, but it's just constantly there. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. So continue. I don't know if like you have a vision board or if you've written something down about what the perfect house is or looks like or the location, but I'm being shown to remind you to, write down or maybe pictures if you're a more visual person, and take pictures and put them on a visual board, or put up, write what it is that you're looking for in a house, and then put it somewhere where you can see it every day. Ask the angels for you to have that house, to bring that house to you, release it and let it go. But then every time you walk by, you go, yep, that's it. Thank you. Thank you for bringing me that house. That's perfect. Thank you. Right. And it just opens up the possibilities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah. So I need to like sort of open up to places that I don't really want to live in. Is that what you mean?
So as far as releasing everything from the other house, you mean?
Oh no, just for my next home, the home I'm going to buy.
Right.
Do I need to be open to areas that I really don't want to live in?
Be open to all possibilities. Write down what it is that you're wanting. Write down the area that you're wanting to live in, but then be open to possibilities, because one thing, what they're saying is like one thing is connecting to something else is connecting to something else. Okay. So be open to whatever it is that comes in and that they're bringing in for you. Okay.
Okay, and they're helping me?
Yes, absolutely.
I think I believe they're helping me, which is a comfort.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Lindy, we are coming down to the last couple seconds of our show, so I have to say goodnight. But I hope this has been really helpful for you.
So much. Thank you so much.
You are so very welcome. Good luck.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye. That does it for me, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do check out my website at wingsofsoulswithjulie.com. Don't forget to check out all the information about the retreat coming up, and have a wonderful evening. We will see you again next week.
listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for astrology and psychic readings with Lady D. Lady D. Live from LadyDPsychicParties.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Astrology and Psychic Reading on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi everybody, welcome to Astrology and Psychic Readings, Lady D. I'm your host, Lady D. I hope you've all had an amazing week. So this week ahead, we do have a really big retrograde coming up here. We've got Venus that's going to be retrograding in Leo, and that's going to be happening the 23rd for me, but people that are in America and on the other side of the world, it's more going to be the 22nd. We've still got some elements going to like nodes, sort of like life lessons here and like destiny points. We've also got an aspect with Neptune that's also going to be with Venus here. And we've also got coming up a square with Mercury. So this could be unexpected news that's coming up here, or we might have unexpected thoughts here too. That also is coming up. We're going to have or could be a confusion with technology or with things or communication, like miscommunication can also coming up, or whatever it will be unexpected. And so we do have that coming up as well. We've also got things with this retrograde that's coming up. It is going to be quite big, and I feel like this is going to affect financial things, also relationships. We are dealing with Leo, so it also can be dealing with things that we have like fun. Anything that we see as fun or social things, like plans may not go wrong. And that may interfere with like interactions as well in relationships. You're also going to find people coming back from the past, coming back too, and it's going to be one of those extreme things that I do feel like that's going to come up with this retrograde, but definitely feel like people from the past will come back. This can be a good thing, and it depends on you and what you do with this when they come back, if it's starting again with a relationship or it could be like a friend, but usually we're dealing with love. With Venus, we are dealing with love. And so what else have we got coming up here? So we've also got that it may be like we're looking at what we want as well, because when we are dealing with Leo, we are dealing with like an ego, and we are dealing with people wanting things that are bigger. So we may even have looking at some sort of like financial, with money systems collapsing. I don't feel like it's going to be, look, we'll recover. I don't think more, because we've got Jupiter in Taurus, and that's going to help the money situations. But with this, things may not go according to plan. So we may have some financial fall-ups here, or something about starting again. You might have to look at starting again at something with financial. Or if you're putting a house up for market, you might find it's not going to sell as quickly, or it's not going to, might not even sell during this time, or you might not get what you expected to perhaps as well, or might not just go smoothing. But it could be like feeling a lot of pressure on at this point, or wanting more. As I said, like issues with love, but I also feel like with relationships with people, I can be a bit jealous, or have like an ego problem. These are the relationships that I feel like are gonna have the issues that's coming up here. As I said about fun, it also can bring up a bit of nervous energy this week that I feel like that's going to come up here, and wanting things that you can't have. When we're looking at Leos tend to like things like bigger, better, and these things like wanting these big things to happen that may not, but they're not eventuate for you here. I said relationships, maybe they'll see a lot of breakups during this time as well, the ones that are not going very strong, and people will have to focus on we might more focus on what they need than what they want. But people will be the other way around. People will want to focus on things that they don't necessarily need, but more about what they're wanting during this time, I feel. There could be also some big things coming up in our lives this week too, with these certain aspects that are coming up here with the planets too. And it could be like having like thoughts and ideas, could be like quite crazy, quite bold thoughts and things that are also coming up too that you might find this week as well. Also wanting attention, people wanting attention can also definitely be coming up this week too. And we've also got daydreaming, like people being daydreaming or people being called out doing the wrong thing may also come out. People not wanting to hear negativity things, or maybe people not wanting to hear like things that are realistic. People wanting to hear like just listen to them, and they don't want to hear what's the truth is, or what certain things they may not want to hear, or wanting better. And there was be an element here of wanting to de-stress too. Let's go to the callers. So we do have here Nina. She's in Port Charlotte in Florida. So hi, Nina. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. How can I help you today?
Okay. I have a few questions. I was in a 5.5 year relationship, and we broke up, and I just recently started dating someone else. And I have a whole lot of concerns and worries, financially and family wise, and I just want to know what you see.
I just feel like everything's taking a toll on you. It's just everything's coming at you all at once. Like life is getting a bit crazy for you. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Let's have a look here. With the relationship, I want to say the past is done, but he's going to keep hanging around. I feel like even though you've moved on or you're looking to move on, I still see this person hanging around. So I do feel like you might hear from him, especially with this retrograde that's coming up next week. I sort of just see him sort of there, looking at the ground, sort of waiting. But I feel like that the relationship is. I keep on hearing that it's done, though. So I feel like maybe on your end,
Is it over?
Well,
do you think that's over, or?
Look, as I said, I see him still there around you, but I keep on hearing that it's done. But I know with this retrograde, it's going to come up. He's probably going to be contacting you, or you're going to be contacting each other. Like I feel like, or he may even surprise you. But I feel like this relationship, it's not working, and I feel like when you keep trying, I keep on. Unfortunately, this card keeps on standing out to me, which is like walking away. So I do feel like that. You're probably going to get lured back in with him, and you're waiting for things to happen. But I feel like there needs to be a quick change though, and I feel like with this decision of walking away, it's like I don't think I can go back. I don't know. I just feel like it's not done completely, but I feel like I don't know if it's going to actually pull through. So I feel like that even though at the moment, even though when he has left, it's not all bad news, because I do feel like with this card, I always see the flower that's in blossom. So even though the card looks very gloomy and sad, there's a little flower hit in blossom. So to me, it's not all bad. You do need your heart to heal. There is did the ending happen really fast? Was this a fast breakup?
Yes, it happened very fast.
Yeah, this card is standing out to me as well. Okay, so okay. I'm going to say after this month in July, and we're going more into September, maybe after the retrograde, I do feel like, did you say there was someone already there? There's someone else new around you?
Yes, and that was my other question. This man is very good to me, so I didn't know what you saw with that either. He has 7 children, so that's a big
thing for you. I want to stay with the new for now. Especially, I feel like it's going to be quite clear for you, especially after you get to up to September. Your thoughts are going to be clearer. I feel like the new guy is more like he's more reliable too, and I trust him more too. I feel like with the past, there's a lot that's been said and been done that can't be undone or unsaid. I also feel like with the past, there's person it could be the partner or you or someone around him that we don't trust as well, or he doesn't have good people around him. You just need to be free. But I feel right now for you, the new is a better option for you. I do feel like the man, he does love his children, and I do feel like you will be important to him, but his children will also be more of a priority for him if they need him, which is not always a bad thing. And I feel like he's genuine, but also realistic. Like he lives in the now. Like there's no delusion with him. And I feel like he's very up honest and upfront. So I feel like this person's sort of like the cards are out on the table with him. So he's very like, this is my situation, this is where I'm at. And I kind of feel like I need to stay with him as well. More with the old one, I don't feel that one's going to work out with the old person. I feel you're better off with the new person. With your financial situation, I just feel like it's a bit of a sticky situation. I can see you being stuck or being sticky with that. And I feel like that everything also changes around. I do feel like you need to look for something more stable in terms of with money. So your job at the moment, you're working at the moment? Hello? So I feel like, Nina, with you, the job that you've got, I'm hearing it's not, it may not be stable. And I just feel like that you need to find something more stable. I do see you looking at something new and something different. I also feel like that you also need to do a lot of networking too. That needs to come up with this. And also I feel like you can do better. So I'm hearing that whatever you're doing, I feel like there's a job that's out there that is going to be better suited to you. At the moment where you are, it's like I'm on a treadmill and not going anywhere. So I do feel like that you need to look for something that is going to be a lot better for you and also for your skill sets. I feel like you're being wasted where you are. And I want to say that I do see something being signed, but I feel like it's going to be towards the end of the year when something's going to come up. And it's a very hopeful thing that's going to come up for you with this contract. So just stay hopeful with there. So this has been a really interesting show, guys. Retrogrades haven't started yet, and it's already getting to be interesting. So we'll have some interesting weeks ahead coming up with this retrogrades and other planets aspects that are going to go on. If you want to contact me, you can. My website is Lady D Psychic Parties, the same as my Facebook page, Lady D Psychic Parties. My Instagram and TikTok is Lady D Psychic, and my YouTube channel is Lady D or Danielle Psychic if you can't find it underneath that. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you same place, same time next week. So bye for now.
All right. Well, hello and welcome to the Psychic Side Radio TV podcast here on the A1R Psychic Radio Network, Moonstruck TV and Lightning TV, and other fine places on the internet. Wow, we're everywhere. You know, we're the #1 psychic radio network on Earth. So that's pretty good. So if you've been looking for us, you found us. I am a psychic medium from Texas, and this is the show that is expressing views that are the psychic side. You know, you hear the skeptics all the time. So now we're just going to let you hear our side of things. So we're really happy to be here to kind of clear things up and give you permission to work on your psychic abilities, because we believe that and they're very important. They're really good about helping you develop all of your personality and just being more human. You know, last week I was at the Holistic Festival in Plano, and I did my talk. I couldn't believe how many people showed up. So someone must be listening to the program, because the house was packed. So I'm really happy about that. So today I'm going to start our program off talking a little bit about a topic that I know it's going to give you chills. Okay, just going to give you chills down your spine, and it's the what we're going to do is we're just going to talk about the third house of the zodiac. So, see, I told you, you got chills, but this house is the house that is everything about the sign of Gemini, and being June, that's the time for Gemini. And it is the house that is naturally ruled by the planet Mercury. And it has several characteristics that are relevant to today's issues that are going on, because it's playing a large role in our country, in the United States at the moment, because there are planets that are in the third house of the United States that are just highlighting a few things that we should be aware of. And I'm doing this because I want you to learn how to use your own chart and learn how to use the transits in your chart. You know, everybody reads the horoscopes and everything like that, but I mean, they're just too general. But when you get specific and you learn about different issues that are going on in your life and in your natal chart, the transits, it's fascinating. It's just plain fascinating. So this particular house is the first mutable house of the zodiac. So what that means is, it means that it is the house where things start to change or evolve. The first house, for instance, is about acting, about action. The second house is about staying firm. But the third house is about being mutable, being changeable. Because, you know, sometimes when you take action or you stay steadfast, you can take too much action and you may need to make a change. If you are too fixed and things don't work out, you also need to make a change. So the third house kind of rectifies what's going on in the first and second house. It gives you a little bit different perspective of things. And that's what's so cool in my mind about the zodiac, because everything is a reaction to something previous, and it's really interesting. So the third house kind of takes a middle ground between the first house and the second house, And in the scheme of things, this is the house of negotiations. It is the house of the sibling, the first person you negotiate with as an equal is your twin or a sibling. Other areas associated with Gemini are early childhood, elementary school education, short stories, communication, being talkative, and changeability. Do any of these sound a little bit familiar? You know, we're talking a little bit about transgenderism these days. We're talking about early public education, about how things are changing there and how people are trying to sort out issues. Because, you know, these are important things, but just a few years ago, you might not have been hearing about them. You just didn't hear a lot about early childhood education and critical race theory and other things like that, discussing pronouns, all of those things. I'm not passing judgment on. I'm just saying that these are issues that are all third house issues. They're all third house, and you know, it's interesting too because we're starting to see presidential candidates emerge who are all part of a mutable sign, either Gemini, Virgo. Geminis and Virgos are the ones that are really showing up in the presidential election that's coming up. And of course, today we had our second Gemini president, who was